Published 17:12 Eastern Standard Time, the 24th of January 2018. Updated 19:23 Eastern Standard Time, the 24th of January 2018. The last thing Antonio Conte needed after losing this tight semi-final at Arsenal and seeing another striker injured was the news that Edin Dzeko had scored a last-gasp equaliser for Roma. Dzeko is Chelsea's latest transfer target, but they have yet to close any deal because of the lingering concerns about such a heavy investment in a 31-year-old. Perhaps it tipped the emotional Italian over the edge because after 90 minutes of suffering on the touchline, he was simply unable to keep his frustration inside. Antonio Conte saw his dreams of a Carabao Cup final end with a semi-final defeat at Arsenal. The Italian saw his Chelsea side dumped out of the competition by this Granit Xhaka goal. Conte will have to focus on the FA Cup and Champions League if he is to win a trophy this term. From the summer, the club decides every single player, said Conte. There are different situations, sometimes I have an impact on this and sometimes I don't have an impact. My first task is to do my job and be a coach, and to try to improve my players. For sure, I don't have a big impact in the transfer market. These remarks will not be well received in the Chelsea boardroom, where they insist the recruitment is based on the manager's list of demands. But the issue of depth of quality in his squad has been eating away for some time. When the squad is not big, you have to play with always the same players, and this season one made a lot of rotations, said Conte. I am crazy if I think I can put the same players in every competition. It is not simple and I don't sleep because of this. As you can see, Conte bellows out instructions during the first half of Wednesday's Carabao Cup second leg. Antonio Conte has struggled against Arsenal, winning just one of Chelsea's 8 matches against Arsene Wenger's side. Chelsea won 7 of their previous 10 games against Arsenal before Conte was appointed. Conte is a restless soul at the best of times, and this season is leading him towards territory he had consigned to the past. It's 8 years since he has encountered anything approaching failure, when he quit Atalanta after an angry confrontation with ultras, having failed to halt a slide towards relegation. He returned and led Siena to promotion, moved swiftly on to a hat-trick of titles in 3 years at Juventus, and won the Premier League in his debut season at Stamford Bridge. 2 years in charge of Italy ended in defeat on penalties against Germany in the last 8 of Euro 2016, an achievement which has acquired a miraculous quality since the subsequent failure to qualify for this year's World Cup finals. The Chelsea manager has only beaten Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger once in 8 meetings this season. The title is out of reach this season, and Conte has been locked in a fractious internal tussle about transfer policy for months. Things have been unravelled from the moment Chelsea missed the double, beaten at Wembley by Arsenal in the FA Cup final. There was the curious exiling of Diego Costa, missed targets such as Romelu Lukaku and Alex Sandro, an indifferent pre-season in defeat on penalties in the FA Community Shield. Again, it was Arsene Wenger's team in the way. Wenger seems to have the measure of this Chelsea. Conte aired his feelings about the transfer market on the eve of this game, having seen Manchester United sign Alexis Sanchez on wages of £450,000 a week. Conte speaks with one of the assistant referees during the Emirates encounter. Wenger will know how he feels, having been in the same position when Roman Abramovich turned up and blew the wage structure into another orbit. Since then, Chelsea have reached 13 finals, winning 9 of them. Number 14 will have to wait. There is still the FA Cup, with Newcastle at the Bridge on Sunday, and the Champions League, but the might of Barcelona are next in Europe for the Premier League champions. Conte was wrong to think last season's heroics might convince Abramovich to open the bank vault once again. This may be a slightly different Chelsea, not one afraid to spend but one keen to maximise value and balance the books. Conte was left agitated during the first half when he had to wait to bring Ross Barkley on. Conte's 6 outfield substitutes at the Emirates cost about £150 million, and Barkley, a £15 million buy from Everton, was on before half-time after Willian picked up an early injury. Compared to the Arsenal bench, it was a strong array of options, but it was not enough on a night when Alvaro Morata, Cesc Fabregas and Thibaut Courtois were injured. In 8 meetings between these London rivals in 18 months, Wenger's team have lost only once. Conte threw more substitutes at the situation, but eventually his energy drained away and Arsenal supporters started to goad him. For a serial winner, it was tough to swallow.